Welcome to Let's Talk Criterion, your regular and exclusive channel previewing new and forthcoming releases in the Criterion collection. In this edition, we feature a new Janus Contemporary title, Vermiglio, directed by Maura Delpero, coming to the collection on Blu-ray. Maura Delpero's 2024 Italian drama film, Vermiglio, enjoyed extensive praise from critics at various festivals following its premiere at the 81st Venice International Film Festival, where it won the Grand Jury Prize, and it was also selected as the Italian entry for Best International Picture at the 97th Academy Awards. It also received 14 nominations at the 7th David di Donatello and won 7 of them, including Best Picture. Now, the cast of the film consists of Giuseppe Di Donamico as Pietro Rizzo, Tommaso Ragno as Cesare Graziadei, Martina Schrinzi as Lucia Graziadei, Roberta Rovelli as Adele, Carlotta Gamba as Virginia, Orietta Notari as Zia Cesira, Sara Seriocco as Anna Penisi. With head bowed over clasped hands, Italian director Maura Delpero's quietly breathtaking Vermiglio unfolds from tiny tactile details of furnishings and fabrics and the hide of a dairy cow into a momentous vision of everyday rural existence in the high Italian Alps. Far away, the Second World War is ending, an earth-shaking event felt here only in abstract ways because there's the real labour of community and family to be getting on with, to say nothing at all of the private work of finding your own path to tread beneath those towering peaks. Now, to those who live on those slopes, the mountains must be the beginning and end of everything, the amen on every prayer. The time of the year is winter, and we see a sleeping household with 2 or 3 to a bed, gradually stirring. Now, the eldest daughter in the family, Lucia, that's Martina Schrinzi, milks the cow, dreamily resting her face, which she has apparently stolen from a Vermeer painting. She rests it against the animal's warm flank. Her mother Adele, that's Roberta Rovelli, will heat the milk and dole it out among her 7 children, along with hunks of dipping bread for breakfast. Automatically, the jostling kids, mostly non-professional actors delivering effortless, naturalistic performances, arrange themselves in order of size at the stout table around which so much of this family's life is centred. And at the table's head always sits Adele's husband, Cesar, Tommaso Ragno, a stern but not unloving patriarch with the sonorous voice of a man used to being obeyed. He runs the local one-room school where all of his kids, bar his youngest one, sickly infant, are taught the same lessons regardless of their age. Now, Pietro's arrival is tantamount to a wide-ranging disruption within the family. Aida, that's Raquel Potric, after seeing Pietro and her sister in an intimate moment, struggles to reconcile her burgeoning interest in women with her religious devotion. Meanwhile, at the local watering hole, the elder men of the village discuss their role in hiding Pietro, whether or not he's a card. Now, because the Graziadei family is run by the rigidity of religiosity, all decisions flow from Cesar alone, an authoritative man with a booming voice whose status as the community's lone educated man affords him unilateral power. It's his decision alone which child will be sent off to further schooling and which one will enter the nunnery, even if some of those decisions are preordained by the children's behaviours. That Dino, Cesare's eldest son, is a failure at school and has a predilection for drinking wine, has destined him to stay in Vermiglio to help the family in the fields. And as the film continues, it only becomes clear that Lucia is the only child who's relatively happy with the path chosen for her, at least until devastating secrets are revealed about Pietro's past, extinguishing the last remaining embers of the family's peace. Now, on the face of it, Maura Delpero's film Vermiglio is pitched as a tale of wartime romance. Now, while that is certainly a thread of the movie's rich tapestry, it is just that, a thread. It actually doesn't dominate the entire narrative. Pietro and Lucia's love story is told largely in heated looks and gentle touches. We barely hear them speak 2 words to each other, and they're often off to the side of any of the village's many social gatherings. The apartness of their relationship, the fact that we've been kept at an arm's length from them for most of the movie, pays dividends in the 3rd act, with the reveal of an ambiguity of motivation that the director Delpero is brave enough to leave unresolved for us. Now, the editing in the film is by Luca Mattai, and it's evocative through economy. What I mean by that is simply, he cuts from Adele's superstitiously wrapping her ailing infant son in cabbage leaves to a shot of falling snow. We understand the fate of the child even before we see Adele, already pregnant again, grieving at a little cross. But then, economy is the watchword of this deceptively formalist film. Every aspect of the filmmaking, from Critchman's immaculate compositions, to the worn, neat costuming from Andrea Cavaletto, to the simplicity of Matteo Franceschini's Spartan piano-based score, speaks to the restraint that the director Maura Delpero exercises in playing on our feelings. Now, not because she herself doesn't feel, but because, like her stoic characters in the film, she's holding herself in check with an almost brutal degree of self-discipline, somewhat to be admired. It contributes to a fascinating narrative remove, which is belied by the close-up clarity of the imagery as well. But then up here in the clean alpine air, no matter how distant your vantage point actually is, you can see forever. Now, Vermiglio is at once delicate and forceful, though the same quality ensures its narrative gets diffused. Delpero tries very hard to give Cesare, Pietro, Lucia, Flavia, Ada, and Adele and Dino a proper spotlight, but the film feels as if it cannot hold all that weight, leaving one with the sense that it might have benefited from a longer running time. And yet, there's gratification in its patchwork approach. Now, Vermiglio's story comes to us in waves. At first, the dangers and the joys of self-discovery. They play out through stolen moments and minor secrecies, while the film's more dramatic moments crash with unexpected force, leaving it with an endless sea of heartbreak. Now, the film releases on Blu-ray through the Criterion collection as a Janus Contemporary on Tuesday the 26th of August, and it contains a Meet the Filmmakers feature, and that's a new interview with the director Maura Delpero, and a trailer for the film. The film has a running time of 119 minutes, and it's shot in a rather unusual 1:90:1 aspect ratio. Now the Criterion has announced they're introducing their new premieres range. This will be, of course, the last Janus Contemporary title. Now, I have to say, looking back on most of the films we've featured in the series here, I have been most impressed, for instance, with titles like Tori and Lokita, Godland, and, of course, Evil Does Not Exist, which was more recent, along with All We Imagine as Light. These Janus Contemporaries have certainly not disappointed me, personally, and they've allowed us to own these new contemporary films that would otherwise have been relegated only to streaming services, for instance, like Mubi, BFI Player here in the UK, and the Criterion channel itself. So we wish Janus Contemporaries a fond farewell and look forward to Criterion premieres and what that brings, which starts, of course, in September with the animated full-length feature Misericordia. And on that note, on our next edition, we'll be featuring a film not often seen either, and that's directed by Alice Wu. It's from 2004 and it's called Saving Face. So, until next time, from me, as always, it's goodbye, and above all, good Criterion viewing.